record. So let's look at ways we can enhance our efficiency when we're using Excel. One of the ways is, most of the time, when we're looking for a particular function and we are sort of not very conversant with Excel, we wonder where is it, where is shapes, where is a conditional formatting, where is this, where is that, So rather than spending time looking through to look for functions that we use, especially the ones that you use more often than not, there's something called quick access bar, and the quick access bar is just a toolbar where you can quickly like dump, quote and unquote, dump the functions you use almost all the time. For me, I've set mine up, but I'm going to show you how to set yours up as well. And mine are the ones, because I put it below the ribbon. So mine are these ones. These are the buttons or functions that I've added in my own quick access bar, So because I use conditional formatting a lot, filter a lot, so I don't have to be wondering, where would I find filter? If I want to remove duplicates, where would I find it? I've already added it here, So how can you add yours as well? If you go into File and you go into Options, right? So on the left here, we've got the quick access toolbar right here. So we've got a whole button on its own, dedicated to it. So I'll click on that and it brings us, here. It says customize the quick access toolbar, where you can, customize it to your own, to what you want. If I take all these out for now, so I'm just clicking on each one of them to remove them. Removing them is, so I click on the one I want to bring back to the original position. This is the original position. And I click remove. So I'm going to remove all this, then we can start all over again. Let me see if I can pick more than one at a time. Okay, it's not letting me pick more than one at a time. So I'll keep removing like that. And so the last one on there is turn on the save button. Okay. If you observe, there's something on top here, the separator. Okay. So if I want a separator between each one of my quick access buttons, I would put a separator between each one of them. Okay. So I use this filter a lot. This funnel one, I use it a lot. Okay, so I'm going to click on it and then click on add. So that brings it here for me. Okay, so that means I've added it to my quick to one of those tools I can quickly access. I don't have to go into the home button or insert or data, to look for it. Okay, if I want, maybe I use the calculate now. Okay, I add that as well. If I want cut, I add that as well. There's quite a lot here, If I want open, I would add it. Paste, So I'm just choosing, random buttons now. For it's always good to put the ones that you use more often than not. That's the essence of setting it up is to help you quickly access what you need more frequently. Okay. So redo, I've added. I want undo. I've added that. Maybe spelling, I can add that. There's something I haven't done, which is I've not added any separator in between, this one. So if I want, I can add as many separators as possible. So I'm adding those because I'm going to be moving them up to separate each one. Okay. So, and if I want to move these separators or any one of these ones here, if I want to move their positions, maybe I want spelling to be top, I just need to click on it and click on the arrows that you see here, however, wherever you want to move it. So I want these to go up, to keep going up, and I want a separation between the first and the second one. So I'll do that, for the next one as well. Okay. And I'll keep, doing that. However, like I said, however you want it. You don't have to if you don't think that you need it. Okay. So if I separate between those and leave those alone, so I'm happy with what I've got here. Okay. I've looked through and I'm fine with it. So I'm going to okay that. Okay. So again, we've got these ticks here. If you don't want the quick access bar to be shown at all, so you don't want what we've chosen here to even be shown at all, I'll click from here and it will not even show, but I want it to show. So I'm going to click that open and okay that. Okay. And can we see the list of what I have has reduced from what I had initially. I had quite a lot initially, which I don't normally use anyway. Okay. Now I've got this here. Okay. Let me see what's here. Okay. It's just a list of each one of them that I've already chosen, and it's ticked the ones that I've chosen, which are here. Okay. That's what I have in that drop down. Okay. Such that if I'm copying this now, Control C, and I don't know that Control V is my paste. I can just quickly come here rather than be looking. And when I even click hover on here, my shortcut is being shown me there that I can use Control V. But I mean, why not? I can as well, do that from here. Okay. So I will Control Z that to undo that and escape that so that that is not picked up anymore. Okay. So that is one use of the quick access toolbar. It's a very good one. Say I want to filter, I want to put filter in the header here, the headers that are here. Because I can see my funnel, I don't have to be, fluffing around looking for where is filter. It is right here in front of me. So I can use it from there and so on and so forth. So sometimes you see people who have learned to do this, and while they are working, they are just, moving so quickly. Just really like they are just, it's almost like they are not even touching anything so fast. This is one of the things that helps them to be that efficient, that effective. Do we have any question on how to set this up?
Hi, Sister Debbie.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, what's that separator? Yeah, this is the first time I'm seeing it, and thanks for that.
Yeah.
What's the effect? How will it look without a separator? Is there
okay?
Is there a way to look without a separator?
See, where I've put separator, we've got the line. Okay. This line here is the separator, just separating the two from each other. Now, between these three here, I did not put a separator. Okay, so we can still see them separate. The only thing is nothing is demarcate, no line to demarcate between the two. So that's why I said it's optional. If you just want it to look all neat and,
okay,
separated, yes.
So the separator makes it look neater.
Exactly. You just demarcate each one from the other, because we can see here the look between these two is quite different from what we're looking at around here. you know.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you
You're
so much.
welcome. You're welcome. Okay. One other thing that makes us very efficient or effective while we work is the use of keyboard shortcuts. Okay. So as many of the keyboard shortcuts that you know how to use, that you can use, the more of them you have, the better you would, operate your data within Excel. And we'll talk a bit about few of them. There's quite a lot, and we don't need all. We just need the ones that are, that are peculiar to what we do each time. Okay. So if I press the Alt button on my keyboard, I'm pressing the Alt button on my keyboard. Do you notice that some alphabets occur? They came up, such that if I'm trying to maybe go into shapes, and I know that shapes is under insert, I can see that that is telling me that letter N would open, everything under insert. So if I click on N, we see everything, every function that's under insert, we can now see. If I wanted the pivot table, V, if I wanted this option of recommended pivot tables, is telling me that it's SP, If I actually want shapes, it's telling me, if I want pictures, rather P. Shapes is telling me shapes is SH, okay? So if I press SH, it brings up the shapes, okay? So you can actually do a lot of work without just using your keyboard for as much or as many of the keyboard shortcuts that you have or you are conversant with. You can work without having to. So I can, pick any of the shapes and just, have it there. Okay, so there you go. I didn't have to use mouse. I just clicked on Alt. It brought those letters on each one. And I went on to N because it gave me N for insert. And when it brought everything under insert up, SH was the one for shapes, And whilst this shape is picked, I can move it around using the right, the arrows, those 4 arrows, the one points right, the other left, and the other up, and the other down, So we can, just move around just using those 4 keys as well. That is also one thing to note. Okay, I can decide to if I'm trying to pick all of the headers in here, one shortcut I can go for. If you've got your pen and paper, it's good to write these things down. It saves you time. So I can use the Control Shift and the right to navigate straight to the end of my column there at the top. So if I've got like hundreds of columns and there's no break between them, this will take me straight to the last within seconds. Okay, just Control Shift and the right. If I'm trying to pick the whole data, still on Control Shift right, and then down. Now, it takes me and it picks the whole data for me. Okay, I'm just gonna go back up with Control Shift up arrow. If I just want to come down to the last cell that's got data in it, I'll just do Control down here, and it takes me straight to the last one. If I want to go back up, Control or control and then the up arrow. Those are ways to quickly, navigate around your data set. Let's say I've got something like 1,000, typed in this cell, and I want to format this. I could decide to use Control B, to make it bold. So Control B to bolden it up, and that has been boldened up. If I come into my home, we can see that bold has been highlighted on there. I can decide to Control I just to italize it, Control I that, and it's written it in italics, okay? And even when I put the cursor there, we can see it's telling us Control I is the shortcut. And Control U for the underline. So Control U underlines it for us, and we can see all three of them. All three of them have been highlighted here. If I want to pick all of the data here without using the method I showed us earlier, we can pick anywhere within the data and just do a Control A. Control A picks everything. Again, the Control A depends on where you have clicked. I've clicked within the data set. So Control A will look for every data surrounding that data set and pick it. But if I'm clicking outside of the data set and I'm doing a Control A, it picks the whole page, the whole sheet. So it's worth knowing that. If I want to undo a step that I've done, Control Z will do that for me. So Control Z just unpicked the whole sheet. If I want to save this without going into File and then Save, if I want to do that, I can just do a Control S, and Control S saves. It saves that. You can see that it says saved. Although I've got all my auto save on, but Control S works very well. Okay. Control C we are quite used to, so I'm going to, pick this and do a Control C, and we can see that those dotted lines or broken lines dancing around means that cell has been picked, has been copied. So it's just waiting for me to paste it. So that is Control C. And wherever I want to paste it, I can do a Control V, to paste it on here. And to make that those lines go away, I just need to escape that, and that would stop, that will stop dancing around that. If we want to open another report, rather than going here and using open, we can actually come here and just do a Control O. Control O takes us straight to the back end here, and yeah, you can open whichever report it is that you want to open, and Control P. So if we escape that takes us back. Escape took us back, but because we've got this floating control here, escape also brings it back as well. Okay, so Control P is for printing. So it takes you straight to where you can print, and then you can choose whichever printing option you want. Okay, and again, that was escape I pressed. And Control F1. Control F1. Sometimes F1 can be quite tricky for me to use. I always have to press function to get F1. But normally Control F1 would, how my ribbon here is collapsed. and I'm having to come here to uncollapse it. Control F1 can do that as well. But like I said, in my own, on my laptop here, F1 is a tricky one. Let me see if I can get it. Control F1. Okay, so for me to get my F1, I always need to press function Fn, which is beside the Windows button, for me to get my function. So for some other people, F1 might just be they need to press a shift, but shift doesn't work for me. I always need to use function to get the F1 or F2, whichever one of those small F1, F2 written on the first layer, the first set there of the keyboards. That's the one. So I had to do control, function, and F1 for that to work for me. So control, function, and F1 is what I used. And sometimes there is need for you to move. There is need for you to move a data set, either move it completely or copy it, into another workbook. Okay. So say we've got this, and you don't want to send, not all of this workbook is required. It's just the 2020 sales that is required, that you need to send to somebody that's requesting it. Okay. So wherever you are moving it to, that Excel workbook needs to be opened as well. So I'm just going to open a new one, a new blank one. Okay. So that is already, opened. We've got the two. The data set that we had opened just now, and the new one that I copied. So say my line manager is requesting 2020 sales, and he has no business seeing the rest of these ones. All I just need to do is click on that 2020 sales, right click on it. And when I right click on it, we can see different options that is given me, okay? But the one I really need is the move or copy. So if I click on move or copy, so move selected sheets. So I need to move selected sheets to book. Where am I moving it to? If I retain copy of UBG, which is where we are at the moment, it would just move it to the same workbook, but that's not what I want. I want it moved to another workbook, okay? It's giving the option of new here, but I am used to just opening a new one ready, okay? And because I've opened a new one ready, I will click on my book one, okay? Now it's asking me, because there's a sheet one already in that new workbook, it's asking me, should it be placed before the sheet one, or do I want to move it to the end? Okay, so I'll say move it to the end. Now, this is where we have to be careful. Am I creating a new copy, or am I completely moving this out of here? Well, if I move this out of here, it's not in this data set anymore. But if all I need is a copy of it, then I'll click on create a copy of it, and I'll okay that. And we see it's moved that to the new workbook. So I can easily, I can easily send this to whoever is asking, save it properly, name it properly, and send it to whoever is asking. So I thought that's something worth knowing as well, if we didn't know about it before. Yes. Do we have any questions?